What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, two-time welterweight world champion, Showtime Shawn Porter, and his father, manager, and trainer, Kenny Porter, have once again called out undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, and currently the WBO welterweight world champion, Terence "Bud" Crawford. Again, in another interview done by 78 Sports TV, Kenny Porter stated that is the fight that they want. They want the fight with Terence "Bud" Crawford. They want title fights. They want the big fights. Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter made this abundantly clear after their showdown with now unified WBC IBF undefeated welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. They stated that they wanted the immediate rematch with Errol Spence Jr. as they came up short in the fight with Errol Spence, or they want Terence "Bud" Crawford. In a recent interview, Showtime Shawn Porter stated that he even contacted Terence Crawford. They had a dialogue, and he asked Terence Crawford, "Are we making this happen?" And he said that Terence Crawford told him, "Not now, because I have other plans already in place." But there's looking like there's no true plan in place for Terence Crawford, as he's now looking to face once IBF welterweight world champion superstar British boxer Special K Kell Brook, who beat Shawn Porter for the IBF title. And now that's looked like the direction that they're going to go in. Initially, there are reports that they even look to face Josito Lopez, right? So it feels like they're scrambling to find a credible opponent for Terence "Bud" Crawford, and Showtime Shawn Porter is offering his services. Shawn Porter just fought a couple of weeks ago in August, and Shawn Porter is ready, as Terence Crawford is looking to grace the square circle again in November. November 14th, to be exact, is the date that they're targeting. With that said, Shawn Porter, he just fought against Sebastian Formella. That was August 22nd. So Shawn Porter never has to get ready. He's already ready, right? He stays in shape. He stays ready, so he never has to get ready. And these are the types of fights that we want to see Terence "Bud" Crawford in, because we don't want to see a guy with as much talent and skill set as Terence Crawford has in mismatches, right? In fights that you pretty much can predict the outcome. We would love to see a fight the fans and boxing media, boxing sport, the sport of boxing overall needs this level of a fight, and see how the adjustments that Terence Crawford makes against a style like Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is never an easy style. He's never an easy victory. He's a tough out. He's never been blown out in any fight. He's hit the deck twice now in his career, once by Adrian Broner in their fight, which was a fight that took place back in 2015, and then in his most recent fight against Errol Spence Jr. in the 11th round. Both late in the fight. Against Adrian Broner, that was the 12th round, I believe, and against Errol Spence, that was the 11th round. So it was both late in the fight when he got dropped, and both the first fight, well, obviously the fight with Adrian Broner wasn't as close as the fight with Errol Spence, but I think the knockdown was the difference, and I think that Errol Spence won the championship rounds. He won round 11 because he dropped him in that round, and then I thought he clearly won round 12. So I think that Errol Spence won the championship rounds. Nonetheless, Shawn Porter has never been blown out in any fight, not the Kell Brook fight. So he has 3 losses on his resume that coming at the hand of Keith Thurman. He wasn't blown out in that fight. I thought that was a very close fight. Keith Thurman won a unanimous decision victory, but I thought it was much closer than that. He lost to Errol Spence. That was a very close fight as well. That was a split decision loss for Shawn Porter, and he lost to Kell Brook, and that was a very, very close fight. And there was a lot of excessive holding on the part of Kell Brook, and that was a majority decision victory for Kell Brook. So he's never been blown out in any fight. I know you look at the Keith Thurman fight and it says unanimous decision, but it should have been. It was much closer than that. So he's never been blown out, knocked out, stopped, or anything of that nature. When you look at Kell Brook, he's been stopped twice, back-to-back brutal stoppages to when he dared to be great to fight Gennady Golovkin at middleweight. And then when he fought Errol Spence immediately after that, and Errol Spence broke that one eye socket, and Gennady Golovkin broke the other eye socket, or you want to say vice versa, right? And he hasn't campaigned at the welterweight division since then, Kell Brook. Kell Brook, since then, has moved up to 54. He told anybody that would listen that due to the fact that he had weight issues is why he lost to Errol Spence. If Errol Spence come up to 54, he have a better chance of beating Errol Spence. He been campaigning for the rematch. This was back in 2017. May of 2017 is when he fought Errol Spence. And since then, he moved up to fight Robchenka. That was in March of 2018. Then he fought Zarafa. That was in December 2018. And then he fought Mark DeLuca. That was February of 2020. So Kell Brook has moved up to 54. He hasn't campaigned at the welterweight 147-pound weight limit since 2017. So it's been quite some time, and he suffered 2 horrific eye injuries back-to-back to Gennady Golovkin and to Errol Spence. In both of his losses, he was stopped in both of those fights. So he's seen as damaged goods, to say the least. Now, he's the bigger name for Terence Crawford. He'd be the biggest name on his resume. But as far as durability-wise and quality of fight, he's not that. He don't represent that, right? He's definitely better than the B-level or C-level fighters that Terence Crawford could choose from. Josito Lopez, he's definitely better than Josito Lopez. But we would love to see Terence Crawford there with Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's a much more quality fight. It's a much more pick'em fight. It's a 50-50 fight. You have to see Terence Crawford is going to have to make adjustments in the fight. How he deals with the style and the relentless pressure from Shawn Porter. It's exciting for the fans. It's exciting for the sport of boxing. It elevates the sport of boxing. When you have a guy that's widely considered the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, you want to see him in there with the best of the best. When Floyd Mayweather was reigning at the top of his game, you didn't want to see Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez, and everybody complained that Juan Manuel Marquez was top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. Everybody complained it was a mismatch, right? Nobody wanted to see Floyd Mayweather in there with Robert Guerrero, who had 31 wins and only 1 loss. Everybody thought it was a mismatch, right? So this is what happens. Heavy is the head that bears the crown, right? So everybody wants to see Terence Crawford in the ring, in with the best, and showcase his talent. Steel sharpens steel, right? So you're going to get a better version of Terence Crawford. Shawn Porter is only going to bring the best out of Terence Crawford, and vice versa. And this is what we want to see from the pound-for-pound kings, from the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. It has nothing to do with any disdain or dislike for Terence Crawford. It's that heavy is the head that bears the crown. If you're the best in the world, we want to see you in the ring with the best that the sport of boxing has to offer in and around your division. Point blank and period. And so now Shawn Porter and his father, Kenny Porter, are once again calling out Terence Crawford. Point blank and period. So these are the fights that needs to happen. Point blank and period. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share your videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.